You're back with Bobby and JJ Radio. We're talking all about food on today's show, which is my favorite subject. And up next, we have Michael Sahaki from Restaurant Gwendolyn. Michael's been in the restaurant industry for 23 years and has owned Restaurant Gwendolyn for 7 years. He also owns a Japanese restaurant. Is it called Kimura? Is that right? Specializes in ramen, which is awesome. And he also just opened a wood-burning pizza oven called Il Forno.
So 3 restaurants.
3 restaurants this guy has, yeah. So, Michael, I know you're very passionate about the environment and how you source your food and that kind of thing. And I believe you have no electronic appliances in your kitchen. Is that correct?
At Gwendolyn, that's correct.
At Gwendolyn, great. Well, tell us, why do you do what you do?
It would be an incomplete introduction if I started with the restaurant or food. Food is just the very last page of a long and complex book. It is important how the food is raised and where it comes from, how far away it comes from. So, as eaters, a great problem that we have and a tremendous blindness that we have in our society is that the food is looked at by itself and out of context from the farmers and the ranchers and the water and the soil condition and the country and the growing climate and the treatment of the human beings who raise those products. When you buy a chicken sandwich from a fast food restaurant, that's a vote. Your dollar is a vote to support the production system for each one of those ingredients, the way that the potatoes that became your French fries were raised. Let's talk just about potatoes for a second. There are several growing methods used only in this country. For example, a conventional farming system uses tillage. They till the soil and then without putting any biodegradable material into the soil, they use petroleum-based and corn-based fertilizers, pesticide, fungicide, herbicide. They spray it on this crop to feed it, and they give it an artificial water source. And once they've reached the size, the diameter of potato that they're looking for, they run a gasoline-powered machine over this whole field. They strip everything they want, and they leave the rest bare. So this method of agriculture, which is also reflected in the cows that you eat and the chickens that you eat and the wheat that coats the outside of the chicken patty, they are all a vote for a conventional agriculture that's breaking down the land and the resources that make our food possible. So we as a society are headed for a brick wall because we keep on raping the environment in this way and not thinking about page 2. We don't think about the impact of how fast we're blowing through the water and how fast we're blowing through soil. And the end result, as our population expands, is that we're going to have one very scary day when the scales tilt, and then we don't know what to do because there's not enough water, there is no more arable land, there is nothing left to tear up. And then we start having some math problems.
So what can we do, Michael?
The further you get from your food source, the more the conventional agricultural industry can take advantage of your stupidity. And your dollars go into tearing up the environment and wasting the soil. So the way to reverse this process is to know more and demand more knowledge about your food and where it comes from. If you buy from a fast food restaurant, then you don't know where the beef comes from, where the grain comes from, how it was raised, how that farmer feels about chemicals, and how they used water or where the runoff went. if you buy directly from farmers and ranchers, and if you buy only those things that are raised in a way that you would agree with.
Like organic?
Well, it depends. There's good organic and there's bad organic. But if you buy things from a grocery store, then you don't know any better, you don't know any different.
Exactly.
If you talk to the farmer directly, if you go to a farmer's market, or if you find a farmer who is in your community, you can ask them all of the dangerous questions.
So do you have a list of farmers that you work with for Restaurant Gwendolyn?
I've been buying for years from the farmers at the Pearl Brewery. I buy directly from those farmers and ranchers because not only is it an ethical purchase and I can understand my food all the way to the ground, but also because I want to support my local economy. We are capable of producing a certain amount of food here in this region, and so long as you keep buying regularly from the farmers and ranchers that are part of your community, then your dollars stay in your community. If you go to some place that outsources nationally or internationally, like large chain stores and big box stores and fast food restaurants, then your dollar gets sucked up into a pipe in the sky and it goes to the country of origin, China, Mexico, Argentina, and it comes out of your community. So we have this bank of money that we are steadily depleting because nobody asks and nobody wonders where the food comes from. The farmers go out of business because they can't pay their bills.
Well, we actually have to wrap up this segment. I'm so sorry. But if you want to visit Restaurant Gwendolyn to try some of this food that is locally sourced, and obviously he knows exactly what he's talking about, where it comes from, you can call them at 210-222-1849, or you can visit their website at www.restaurantgwendolyn.com. We'll be right back after a few words from our show partners, so be sure to stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute.